They were told they would never shine. Now they are lighting up the world. These 10 fearless women from Thailand's LGBTQ+ community crushed every limit, broke every silence, and built unstoppable legacies on their own terms. They turned rejection into rebellion, pain into power, and dared the world to watch. Their stories live here on LGBTQ+ Vibes. Subscribe now and be part of history in the making. Nong Poy, the beauty who redefined bravery. When you think of timeless beauty and unmatched grace, Nong Poy's name inevitably rises to the top. But behind her breathtaking smile and delicate elegance lies a story of unimaginable courage. A story that forever changed how Thailand and the world view beauty, gender, and authenticity. Born Ciize Apichaya in 1986, Nong Poy knew from the earliest years that she was living in a body that did not reflect her soul. Growing up in a conservative environment, she faced the crushing weight of societal expectations and traditional norms that told her she could never live as her true self. Yet even as a child, there was a light inside her that refused to be extinguished. At just 17 years old, she made one of the bravest decisions imaginable. She underwent gender confirmation surgery, stepping into the world not just as her true self, but as a pioneer for countless others who dreamed of doing the same. But Nong Poy was not content with simply living her truth. She was determined to shine. In 2004, she burst onto the global stage by winning two of the most prestigious transgender beauty pageants in the world, Miss Tiffany's Universe and Miss International Queen. With her angelic features, graceful poise, and radiant charm, Nong Poy captivated judges and audiences alike. She was not just a beauty queen, she became a symbol of hope, proof that authenticity and excellence could coexist in dazzling harmony. Her success in pageantry was only the beginning. Nong Poy transitioned seamlessly into acting, starring in blockbuster Thai films like The White Storm and With Love from the age of reason. She carved out a career not just as a beautiful face, but as a respected artist with real talent, resonating deeply with audiences who saw in her not only beauty, but also strength and undeniable star power. Beyond the spotlight, Nong Poy has remained a true advocate for the LGBTQ+ community, using her voice to inspire change and her story to light the way for others. Today, she stands not just as a celebrity, but as a living legend, a symbol of bravery, authenticity, and unwavering pride. And while Nong Poy opened the door for many, a new generation has continued to walk through it with just as much brilliance and courage. One dazzling name among them is Yoshi Rinrada, a young icon who took Nong Poy's torch and set her own path ablaze with breathtaking success. Yoshi Rinrada, the new face of fearless beauty. If the world needed a new symbol of fearless, unapologetic beauty, it found one in Yoshi Rinrada. With a charm that could light up any room and a spirit that refused to be boxed in, Yoshi's rise was not just meteoric, it was revolutionary. Born Rinrada Thurapan in 1997, she grew up in a rapidly changing Thailand, but even then, the path for young transgender women was anything but smooth. Yoshi faced bullying, harsh whispers, and the burden of expectations. Yet she held her head high, believing that her future would be shaped not by those who doubted her, but by the dreams she chose to chase with both hands wide open. That dream first came into full bloom when Yoshi stepped onto the beauty pageant stage. In 2017, she captured national attention by winning Miss Tiffany's Universe, a prestigious title for transgender women in Thailand. The world saw not just her stunning looks, but also her fierce authenticity. The following year, she soared even higher, placing as second runner-up at the global Miss International Queen pageant. Yoshi's magnetic presence and genuine warmth shattered every outdated notion about beauty, gender, and acceptance. She quickly transitioned into modeling, brand endorsements, and acting, becoming a role model for young people everywhere who dared to believe they could live their truth and still touch the stars. But Yoshi's real power was never just her outer beauty, it was her unwavering heart. Through every magazine cover, every television appearance, and every campaign she championed, she carried a message of hope. That being different is not a weakness, but a crown. Today, Yoshi continues to shine brighter than ever, reminding the world that true power lies in embracing who you are without apology. And speaking of young stars rewriting the rules, another name comes to mind. A brilliant actress whose fearless spirit and undeniable charm have also captured Thailand's heart. Belle Kemisara. Not every revolution begins with a roar. Sometimes it starts with a spark. Belle Kemisara may not have been born into fame, but she was destined for it the moment she decided to be unapologetically herself. Born in 1995, Belle grew up with a natural magnetic energy that drew people in. She was not just another pretty face, she was a force of nature wrapped in a smile. Even in her earliest appearances on television, it was clear, Belle was not here to follow the script. She was here to rewrite it. Her breakthrough came with the hit series Hormones the Series, a show that dared to tackle taboo topics and showed Thailand's youth that authenticity was a story worth telling. Belle's performance in Hormones was more than just acting. It was a quiet, powerful revolution. She embodied a new kind of heroine, vulnerable yet fierce, rebellious yet thoughtful. While many tried to box her into traditional molds, Belle broke free with grace and confidence, quickly becoming a voice for a generation seeking representation. Off-screen, she continued to inspire by living openly as part of the LGBTQ+ community, refusing to be silenced or diminished. Her journey was not about shocking the world, it was about showing it that real courage comes from living gently, but firmly in your own truth. Belle's impact stretched far beyond entertainment. She became a symbol of quiet rebellion, proving that strength often speaks loudest when it does not have to shout. Today, Belle Kemisara stands as proof that being genuine is the ultimate form of beauty. Whether she is lighting up a screen, standing up for inclusivity, or simply being her radiant self, Belle reminds us that sometimes the boldest acts are the ones carried out with kindness, consistency, and heart. And just when you think you have seen it all, another star rises to capture the imagination of a nation, a powerhouse with a voice as stunning as her spirit. Get ready to meet Engfa Waraha, a woman who turned every challenge into a stepping stone toward greatness. Engfa Waraha, the queen who sang her way into history. Some voices are too powerful to ever be silenced. And Engfa Waraha's voice, rich, soulful, and unbreakable, carried more than melodies. It carried a revolution. Born in 1995, Engfa's journey did not begin on glamorous stages or in glittering pageants. It began in the humblest corners of Thailand, where she learned early that dreams were not given, they were fought for. With a guitar slung over her shoulder and a fire burning in her chest, Engfa sang in small bars on dusty streets, anywhere anyone would listen. Every note she sang was a promise to herself. She would not let the world forget her name. Her destiny truly shifted in 2022 when she stepped into the national spotlight by winning Miss Grand Thailand. Engfa was not the typical beauty queen. She was a storm in silk, bold, brilliant, and breathtakingly real. With her tattoos, her unapologetic identity as part of the LGBTQ+ community, and her powerhouse voice, she shattered every stereotype about what a Thai beauty queen should be. Then came the world stage. At Miss Grand International, she captured hearts across the globe, securing her place as first runner-up and, more importantly, as a symbol of fearless authenticity. Engfa proved that beauty is not about hiding who you are. It is about standing tall, flaws, dreams, scars and all, and daring the world to love you anyway. Engfa Waraha is not just a singer, not just a beauty queen, not just an icon, she is a movement. Her influence stretches far beyond the LGBTQ+ community. She inspires anyone who has ever felt too different, too loud, too real for the world they were born into. Her story is a living anthem to courage, reminding us that you can dream in color, love in truth, and win on your own terms. And as Engfa's powerful voice continues to echo around the world, another fierce spirit is rising right beside her. Charlotte Austin, a woman who proves that strength and beauty can speak every language and cross every border. Some stars are born, others are made, forged by ambition, courage, and a relentless drive to be seen for who they truly are. Charlotte Austin belongs to the second kind. Born in 1998, this Thai-British beauty never fit into any single mold. She was a dazzling contradiction, fierce yet graceful, bold yet grounded. Growing up between two cultures, Charlotte quickly learned that identity was not something you stumbled upon, it was something you created. From her earliest days, it was clear Charlotte was not here to blend in. She was here to shine, and she was willing to fight for her own light. Her breakthrough came with Miss Grand Thailand 2022, where Charlotte's presence was impossible to ignore. Though she stood alongside some of the country's most breathtaking women, it was her energy, vibrant, unfiltered, and unapologetically real, that set her apart. Landing in the top 5, Charlotte proved that success was not about playing by the old rules. It was about rewriting them. But pageants were just the beginning. She soon captured hearts on screen, starring in Show Me Love, where her portrayal of same-sex romance was both groundbreaking and refreshingly authentic. For Charlotte, being part of the LGBTQ+ community was never a secret or a strategy. It was her truth, lived out loud with grace and grit. Charlotte Austin stands as one of Thailand's brightest young voices for inclusivity and change. Her journey reminds us that you do not have to choose between beauty and authenticity. You can embody both and still take the world by storm. She continues to blaze new trails, showing young people everywhere that being different is not just acceptable, it is extraordinary. And speaking of extraordinary, another rising star is making waves across Thailand's entertainment scene with her fearless spirit and undeniable talent. Ciize Apichaya, a name you are about to fall in love with. Ciize Apichaya, unwritten, unstoppable. Some people are born with maps drawn for them. Others choose to chart the unknown. Ciize Apichaya never needed a script. From the moment she entered the world of entertainment, she proved that the most magnetic stars are the ones who write their own stories. Born in 1999, Ciize was not interested in fitting the mold of a traditional pop idol. She radiated something rarer, a reckless kind of joy, a fearless kind of honesty. Even before the lights and cameras found her, she had already decided that her voice would never echo anyone else's expectations. Her path was hers alone, wild, beautiful, and utterly original. Her journey into fame began not with a bang, but with a steady hum of momentum. A rise through music, joining the girl group Ciize, and later into acting, where her natural charisma exploded on screen. Ciize did not chase the spotlight. The spotlight found her because she carried something no training could teach: authenticity that crackled with life. As she shifted from one creative space to another, audiences could not help but follow. Every role she played, every note she sang, felt like an invitation to dream bigger, love louder, and tear down the walls of convention. Her openness about her identity in the LGBTQ+ community never felt manufactured. It was woven into her artistry, as natural and necessary as breathing itself. Ciize Apichaya stands not just as a rising talent, but as a manifesto for a new era of freedom in Thai pop culture. She embodies a truth that so many young people are desperate to hear: that you do not have to choose between being seen and being yourself. With humor sharp enough to slice through fear and a smile wide enough to carry 1,000 dreams, Ciize continues to inspire a generation that refuses to be boxed in. And as her light stretches further across music, television, and beyond, we find ourselves drawn toward another remarkable pioneer, a woman whose quiet beginnings led to a revolution in representation. The unforgettable Suppanad Jittaleela, or as the world knows her, Tina. the quiet storm that changed everything. Some revolutions arrive in silence, whispered first, then thundered through history. Suppanad Jittaleela, known to millions simply as Tina, did not storm into the spotlight with a shout. She walked in with a quiet strength that proved even the softest voice can move mountains. Born in 1991, Tina never seemed interested in chasing fame for its own sake. Instead, she carved her own place in Thailand's entertainment world with the kind of authenticity that cannot be manufactured. She did not ask for permission to be different. She simply was, and in doing so, she opened a door for countless others who had never seen someone like themselves reflected on screen. Tina's breakthrough came with the groundbreaking film Yes or No, one of Thailand's first mainstream movies to portray a same-sex love story with tenderness, depth, and honesty. Her portrayal of Kim, confident, boyish, vulnerable, became an instant icon for the LGBTQ+ community, not just in Thailand but across Asia. Audiences were captivated by her authenticity, her effortless charm, and the quiet defiance with which she told a story that had long been denied a voice. Off-screen, Tina continued to live with the same understated bravery. She never crafted headlines or chased controversy. Instead, she built a career and a legacy by showing that strength does not always need to roar. Sometimes it simply stands its ground and lets the world catch up. Today, Tina remains a beloved figure, not because she chased trends or played it safe, but because she stayed true to herself in a world that often demands masks. Her influence reaches far beyond film. She gave countless young people permission to imagine a different kind of future, one where love, identity, and dreams could exist without apology. And as Tina's quiet storm continues to inspire, we turn to another trailblazer, not from the glittering stages of entertainment, but from the courageous front lines of activism, the fearless Arisa Thanommek, who proved that love is a revolution all its own. Not every hero wears a crown or holds a microphone. Some simply live, bravely, unapologetically, and in doing so, change the course of countless lives. Arisa Thanomek's story does not begin on stage or under spotlights. It begins in the quiet corners of ordinary life, where extraordinary courage takes root. Long before she became a symbol of love's resilience in Thailand, Arisa lived like so many others, navigating a society where being true to herself meant walking a path filled with obstacles. But Arisa was never one to turn away from a fight she knew was worth facing. As an ordinary woman with extraordinary resolve, she made the most radical choice possible: to love openly, to live honestly, and to build a future that did not ask permission to exist. Her story reached national headlines in 2014, when Arisa and her partner, Pachari Hungsabut, publicly celebrated their love in a beautiful wedding ceremony, a bold act in a country where same-sex marriage was still illegal. The world watched as two women stood hand in hand, not just proclaiming their commitment, but demanding recognition for a love that was as deep, real, and sacred as any other. Arisa did not set out to become a symbol for change, but by living her truth so openly, she became exactly that. Their wedding photographs, filled with laughter, tears, and defiant joy, spread across social media like wildfire, touching hearts and igniting conversations about equality that could no longer be ignored. Arisa Thanomek's legacy is written not just in headlines or hashtags, but in the countless lives she inspired to believe that love is a right, not a privilege. She proved that sometimes the most powerful revolutions are waged not through grand speeches, but through simple acts of courage lived day after day. Her story reminds us that while fame may fade, authenticity endures, carving paths where none existed before. And as we reflect on all these incredible women, from icons to everyday warriors, it becomes clear: Thailand's LGBTQ+ community is not just surviving, it is thriving, creating a future brighter than anything the world has ever seen. Beauty, bravery, and a crown that changed history. Every era has its trailblazers, those rare souls who break barriers not with noise, but with undeniable presence. For Thailand's LGBTQ+ community, Tanyarat Jirapatpakon, lovingly known as Film, became that figure. Born with a spirit too bright to be dimmed, Film grew up in a world that rarely made space for someone like her. But she was never interested in fitting into someone else's story. She was determined to write her own, and to do it wearing a crown. Long before mainstream acceptance even seemed possible, Film stepped boldly onto the world stage, a living testament to courage, resilience, and the transformative power of self-belief. In 2007, Film captured international attention by winning the prestigious Miss International Queen title, one of the world's largest and most respected beauty pageants for transgender women. But her victory was about far more than a crown or a sash. Standing on that stage, Film shattered stereotypes, redefined beauty standards, and opened a door through which countless others would eventually walk. Her triumph resonated far beyond Thailand's borders, inspiring a new generation to dream louder, live truer, and embrace their identities without fear. In the years that followed, she continued to build a legacy, not just as a model or a title holder, but as a quiet force for visibility and dignity in a world still learning how to celebrate difference. Tanyarat Jirapatpakon's impact can be felt in every young woman who dares to believe her worth is not defined by others' limitations. She remains a beloved figure, a reminder that authenticity is timeless, and that true beauty is an act of rebellion against a world that often misunderstands it. As we close this journey through Thailand's brightest LGBTQ+ icons, Film's story leaves us with one powerful truth: courage is contagious. Dreams are unstoppable, and when one person dares to rise, they lift an entire community higher. This is not just a celebration of victories won. It is a promise that the brightest days are still ahead, waiting to be claimed by those brave enough to believe. Their stories are just the beginning. Imagine what comes next. From dreams once whispered in the shadows to voices that now shake the world, these icons remind us that history is written by the brave. If you believe in fearless love, bold dreams, and unbreakable pride, join our journey. Subscribe to LGBTQ+ vibes and stay tuned, because the next revolution might just be closer than you think.